Sup gamers, let's jump into this video. We're doing something a little bit different. Apparently I haven't fixed my map yet because I kept these states in here. That's for a different video in the future. But here's a little, I don't know, sneak peek of what's to come on the channel. But overall, this video, what we're doing is we're going to be kind of listing the top 10, easy to start out countries, like if you're new to the game or if you're not very experienced at the game yet. So we're just kind of going through the easy to play countries, and that's kind of what we're going to do. I've seen a lot of people list off Iran as one of the easiest ones to start out and play as. I think this is actually not the case from what I've noticed from playing the game. Early on at least, the more countries you border, the more, occupations that can open up. Like, you can get into one conflict and then another one will break out right afterwards. So I think starting out here is not what you want at all. I don't know why people list this as one of the easiest to learn locations, but if you're a little bit more advanced, maybe this would be a good starting spot, because you have more I don't know, locations you could attack, I guess. But in terms of a new player starting out, this is not where you want to start out at, in my opinion. I noticed when starting the game, the first country I played as was the USA. Obviously not divided, but United States. And it was kind of what I learned off of. The USA is an easy to pick up country to play as, because you have all these islands you can invade over here. As well as you have Mexico, Canada, which they are pretty powerful, and as the USA, you do have to watch your back, but as long as you play it safe, even if they do attack you, you should have enough population and manpower to overall, kind of keep them in check and, make sure they don't overtake you. And overall, it's kind of a, you're very powerful as the USA, and nobody can really mess with you over here unless you really fuck up. So USA is a good starting place. That's number 10. Number 9 is probably Indonesia. It's a really big island kingdom. You have multiple different islands, and that will kind of help you, overall learn how to build ports, navigate your country. And you don't have a lot of neighbors to really deal with, and the only ones you really have that are semi-powerful are maybe Malaysia and Papua New Guinea. And they really aren't going to pose much of a threat to you. So this is a good starting place to learn. There's really nobody who can, threaten your islands unless you really fuck up. Number 8 is probably Japan. Japan has no border rival. Your biggest rival is probably going to be China, but if you can defend your coastline, you can kind of do whatever you want. Same with Russia. Russia is not much stronger than you, so you really don't have to worry about Russia. Really, your only threat is China. And as Japan, you have a lot of places you could invade. You could invade Korea, which would put you, at risk of a war with China early on. So that's kind of up to you if you want to do that or not. You have Taiwan, you have the Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. You can even go to Africa if you felt like it. So you have a lot of occupation, options when it comes to Japan. Number 7 is probably going to be Italy. Italy is a very powerful southern country in Europe. Really, your only threat is going to be France. So as long as you can defend these 3 tiles or whatever from France, you really don't have any major competition. You don't border too many countries. And in terms of, war plans, you can invade really anybody you want in the Balkans. The Balkans is kind of your property. You can hippity-hoppity anybody out of your property, so Italy is a really easy one to play as in Europe. Number 6 is probably Nigeria. I've noticed when I've played as Nigeria, there's literally not a single country in the vicinity of Nigeria that can even get close to your power. Nigeria might be one of the best places to start out, just because it really requires little to no effort to defend your country. So I definitely recommend Nigeria as number 6. Number 5 is going to be South Africa. Now, you do have to worry about all the different borders you have, but if you can take out Lesotho and Swaziland early on, and maybe take out Botswana, you're kind of a set kingdom down here, and you really don't have too much to really fear unless the DR Congo gets really powerful. But other than that, South Africa is a good number 5. Number 4 is probably Australia. A lot of you guys might be saying, but Australia is in the middle of nowhere. Exactly why it's a good place to start out as. Australia, you don't really have to worry about a lot. You can be friendly with New Zealand or Indonesia if you really have to, but overall, as Australia, you have lots of options to invade. You could even go after Africa or the Middle East. Really, anything is on the table, and it's a really good place to learn how to play the game. 3 is probably Saudi Arabia. They do border a lot of countries, so you do have to be careful, but overall, a lot of your neighbors, they're very weak, and unless you really fuck up drastically, I don't see how you could lose as Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is number 3. Number 2 is Romania. Overall, Romania is in kind of the central location of Europe when it comes to the east, but they don't really border anybody too powerful other than maybe Ukraine. And if Ukraine does get involved with you, you can always just call on Russia to aid you. Same with all these other countries. If any of them get really powerful, they're all bordering somebody you could ask for help from to invade them. And overall, Romania is one of the stronger Balkan countries, which means you have a lot of options when it comes to invading different countries. So you can kind of build your own little Balkan empire, and then you should be good to kind of declare whoever you want when it comes to an upcoming battle you want to do. So that's number 2. But overall, the easiest country to learn how to play this game is probably Britain. Britain is number 1. They don't border anybody of power other than Ireland, and even if Ireland does push you out of Northern Ireland, I mean, you still have the entire, English Isle to fall back on. And with all this, you can really do whatever you want. You can go after the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, Denmark, the Faroe Islands, Iceland, Norway, because you pretty much have the power to take out any of those countries really easily. Same with Greenland. You could go after the Caribbean if you felt like it. Central America. If you really wanted to, I guess you could sail all the way out here into the Mediterranean and take out a lot of these smaller countries, or even the Balkans. So playing as Britain, you really have the most options as an island country to kind of learn the game. You don't really have to fear too much of an invasion as long as you can defend your coastline. And overall, Britain is very easy to play as. So, gamers, those are the top 10. Overall, we'll see y'all for the next one, and peace.